Good morning, everybody. Sorry, I'm a couple minutes late. God, I'm 9 minutes late. I was doing some very exciting things this morning, but here I am, Monday morning market review, just 10 after 11. So hopefully, if you don't jump on now, you can jump on later. And in comments below, just let me know what hot topics you're looking for in real estate in 2025. We're already February 17th. Hope everybody had a wonderful Valentine's Day. Today's President's Day, so not a lot of people in the office, but glad to be here and providing everybody valuable information on buying, selling, renting, and investing. As you know, every week I look at Morristown, Morris Township, Morris Plains, and then we'll look at Madison, we'll look at Chatham, we'll look at Florham Park. We'll look at what is coming soon, what's available, what's under contract sold. We'll look at days on the market and what the average price points are, and seeing what things are, knock wood, are selling over for in this market. We can talk about appraisals too. There are a couple other things I wanted to bring up, not just real estate related, but more, I guess, economically, what's going on nationally, in the country, that's also going to affect real estate too. I was sitting down with a good friend of mine this past week, and we were looking at a couple of, let me just bring that up. We were looking at a couple of speakers on what's going on in the country. It's going to be hard for me to go through those. I'll bring that up next week. This week we'll just stick with numbers. Next week, what I want to do is what's going on with manufacturing, what's going on with jobs, what's going on with things that are going to affect the interest rates in the U.S., to see if we can get ahead of that curve a little bit as well. There are some great things going on right now where I think manufacturing is coming back. We have a lot of people putting money into the economy. They may be pulling money out of real estate and into the economy because of the stock market, because of what's going on with AI. Those are all exciting things that are happening with the U.S. market, which will enable people. I think real estate, I still think it's a fabulous investment. I think everything that's going to happen is going to bring the interest rates hopefully down a little bit and the prices up just a little bit, but create some more movement, in the real estate market. So there will always be people needing to upgrade, needing to downgrade, and buying and selling real estate for a lot of different reasons. So I don't really see a lockup there with everybody being on the 2.5% or 3% interest rates. That being said, let's jump into Morristown, Morris Township, Morris Plains. What's coming soon, what's under contract, what's sold, and let's take a look at our CMA view. If you do want to know, and this is my top priority, what your current home value is, if you're watching this, put in the comments below, Pete, I want my CMA, and I will put together a CMA for you, comparative market analysis, which is specifically tailored to your home. I know everybody can do a CMA with AI right now. I tend to really like to look at the details of other homes that are being sold, the inventory, what's coming soon, what's been sold, what's on the market, and put that into your CMA. So I'm happy to do that. All right, Morristown, Morris Township, Morris Plains. What did we say last week? My big wow is that I think this week we're going to see some things go into attorney review. 1 in attorney review, 2 into attorney review, 3 into attorney review, 4 into attorney review. There are 15 available. 4 went to attorney review. I don't have any coming soon. So that basically leaves us 11 available in Morristown, Morris Township, Morris Plains, 4 to 5 bedroom. Inventory still low. That means prices are still going up. Average list price, 1127. Ding, 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 ding. Let me say that again. Average list price in Morristown, Morris Township, Morris Plains, 1127. That's a record in the past 10 years that I've been doing real estate, and probably historically. So, historic times are good times to sell and also buy real estate. Days on the market, average days on the market, 39. That is so intriguing that the average asking price in Morristown, Morris Township, Morris Plains is 1127. I know Damon Goodwin's going to be watching this later. He's probably going to call me tonight and be like, Pete, I can't believe it. Growing up here and seeing this growth, it was just 5-7 years ago, the average list price was probably 740, 780, probably 730, skewed up a little bit. So we're seeing that climb, and I do think you're going to see it continue to climb. With the economy and what's going on, my personal opinion with AI, that's going to compound everything we do and lift it up. And that's going to compound everything we do and lift it up. It's going to have an effect on industries. It's going to have an effect on real estate. It's going to have an effect on the economy. It's going to have an effect on the stock market. All those things, I think, are going to build confidence. If you have confidence in the market and real estate, that to me is a great market. So 10 available. Under contracts, we've got 19. So we've got a 1-to-2 ratio of available to under contracts. And the average asking list price was $808. What we're seeing in the new year is homes like this put on 1.2, 1.2, 1.295, 1.6. We still have one in there for 3.2, but again, I'm going to say my big wow factor today is a average asking price in Marshtown, Marsh Township, Marsh Plains for 1127. Cheers, high five to the town that is the 9th greatest place for families to live in. Solds, let's take a look at that. Average sold price $990, average asking price 1.04, trading up at 1.04, trading up at 5%. It was 4% for about a year and a half, trading up at 5%, and the days on the market are 24. Again, Marshtown, Marsh Township, Marsh Plains. You're going to see a post from me later today that the average asking price has reached 1127, 4 to 5 bedroom, and that's huge. All right, let's jump in and take a look at Madison, Chatham, and we'll also look at Florham Park. Madison, Chatham, Florham Park. Again, that's been and has stayed a strong and steady market all through last year. I think the luxury market's going to continue to be strong this year. The interest rates don't have as much effect on it. The economy, that's going to, I think, push more of the luxury market. People are making more money in the stock market, investing in the market. That's going to relate back to what do people always like to invest in? Real estate, especially investment properties. So let's look at Madison, Chatham, Florham Park, 4 to 5 bedrooms. Big wow factor right here. Remember, we used to have 250 transactions in Marsh Township, Marsh Plains. We used to have about 160 to 170 Madison, Chatham, Florham Park. It is then switched. My other big wow factor is now we've got 255 total transactions, meaning what's coming soon, available, under contract, sold, in a luxury market. So just right off the bat, if I looked at the total number of transactions, that's telling me the luxury market is still strong. What I also see are 2 coming soons available. Let me jump into my correct view. Sorry about that. View, and we'll jump into CMA view. All right, Madison, Chatham, Florham Park. Any big wow factors? 2 coming soon. 1 went into attorney review. We've only got at least 3 out of 10. 7 available. Average list price 1509. That's been consistent. Average days on the market 25. We talked about them getting to 40. They brought it back to 30. Comes up to about 35. Boom, they bring it back to 25. Right now we have coming soon. That's coming on for 1.2. Another one's coming on for 1.1. But still limited inventory. Average list price, asking price that did go under contract 1.6. So you can see, and they've done this. Like, we're looking at it weekly. The luxury market looks at things statistically and does what makes sense. The average asking price for under contracts is 1.684. They're pricing a little bit lower at 1.509, and their days on the market is 26 days on the market. Price to get attention, price to appraise. Let me say that again. Price to get attention, price to appraise. And then you're probably going to get the buyers to come up. Appraisal-wise, I still think appraisals are working pretty well and getting done. Let's look at solds. 1.364 average asking price, trading up at 1.451. 6%, trading up 6%, average days on the market, 25. So they're staying ahead of the market. You do want to stay ahead of a market, especially when the inventory is low. Take advantage of it. Now's a great time to sell. It's also a great time to buy. I do think buying is going to be important because overall, it's going to be harder to get into a market that's constantly increasing. So buy now and look at that investment over time. It's not a short-term flip. It's a 5-10 year investment, and you will make up that money that you may had to have paid the difference on between your offer price and if there's a gap in the appraisal. That equity will be made up very quickly. If you have any questions about real estate, you know how to get in touch with me. 973-255-9337. You can email me at peterglorenzo @kw.com, and or you can Facebook message me, text me, whatever you need. I don't care if you're buying or selling homes, but if you need a real estate opinion on something, I'm happy to be the expert for you. Have a great week, everybody. I'll talk to you soon. And next week, we'll talk about what's going on in the economy specifically, and we'll watch what's happening and how that's going to affect real estate this year. Take care.